Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Rainbow Body. I'm Lindy, and I'm really excited to be back at you with another video. Today's topic has been one that has been in demand by a lot of my viewers. I am going to make a follow-up video to my Mantis video that I made. Wow, it's been almost 2 years since I made that video, so it's been a while. Yeah, but that is my most popular video. It's my highest viewed video, and it's definitely the video with the most comments, the most likes, and the most feedback. And I thought it was just about time that I make another video on the Mantids and more insight and things like that into this. So as this video on YouTube has grown in popularity, a lot of people have been wanting me to make this update video on the Mantids. I do have several things to share with you guys, and so this is a Mantid update, and let's get into it. Okay guys, so welcome back. I'm so happy to be back making a video for everyone. My life has been very busy and it's been really difficult for me to make videos on a regular basis, but I especially love talking about these very weird topics. I know this topic is quite out of this world and quite different, and not the average human experience. I definitely get all of that. And I know that you will be interested in the things I share in this video. So just to kind of give people an update of my interactions with the Mantids since I made that last video back like a year and a half, 2 years ago, my contact with the Mantids has actually slowed down quite a bit, but I feel like I've gotten a lot of downloads and just integrated things into my consciousness that were not integrated before. And I've definitely received like a lot of interesting downloads and seen many synchronicities and a lot of confirmations outside of my internal personal experience I had with the Mantids. I've seen a lot of confirmations outside of myself. So really what's been going on since I made that video is I have met several other people online that also have Mantid spirit guides. I've listened to testimonials about people who have had physical encounters with the Mantids. I've talked to people that kind of channel Mantid beings in a way, and I've realized my experience has been confirmed by other people. So I mean that people, like some people who are into meditation and have developed a meditative or spiritual practice, some of these people have actually had encounters with Mantids as well. So they really do seem to reach out to a lot of people spiritually. Yeah. So I'm going to get into some of those experiences I've had, which are very fascinating. So you definitely want to stay tuned. I will start. In my last video I made on the Mantids, I had shown a drawing that I made. So afterwards, after that video, I did color in the drawing. So it's completely done now, as you can see. And I'll let you see some close-ups. So as you can see, I colored this artwork in. There is the first Mantid that I had an encounter with. So the first Mantid I met in a meditation, and as you can see, he's wearing his brown cloak, and it's got he's he's holding the world, so he's holding the planet Earth in his hands. And then it's got the ET contact symbol that they shared with me, and also a Merkaba. And then as you can see, there's some DNA strands because of all the things that they taught me about the spiritual aspects of DNA. And then I drew the pyramids of Giza in the background just because the pyramids of Giza hold a lot of ancient wisdom and knowledge about humanity and our connections to the stars. So I had to incorporate the pyramids in there. So there we go. There is my completed mantid drawing. And I'm happy I finally shared that with you guys. It is, of course, the cover, like the thumbnail cover of the mantid video that I made previously, but I just thought I would show you guys in a video so you really get to see it. So I completed that drawing. Of course, it's based on and influenced and inspired by my encounters I've had with mantis beings. The first time I met them, they presented it was like a male energy to this mantid being I met, and I went into detail about that in the last video, but he was presented to me in a cloak, and then there was like an ET contact symbol on the ship that I went into with the mantid, and I've gotten really interesting synchronicities and confirmations about that symbol I'm going to get into as well. And I had to put the DNA strand in there because the mantids have taught me a lot about the spiritual aspects of everything. So they basically have taught me, and I've gained a deeper understanding on the spiritual realm or the non-physical realm. And they've helped me understand that there is a non-physical aspect to all of reality. It's basically a non-physical parallel reality to our physical reality. And that's been confirmed too in this book that I am reading now for a second time. But it's called The Source Field Investigations by David Wilcock. I'm reading it for a second time. I read it a few years back. But that entire book gets into the source field, or this the unseen world, and how we really are all connected and do have an aspect of our consciousness that we all share that is very connected. And it's not just human beings, but this source energy, intelligent energy, flows through all living things. So it flows through plants and animals, not just humans. And that book really gets into that. Hey guys, so here is the book, The Source Field Investigations by David Wilcock. It says, The Hidden Science and Lost Civilizations Behind the 2012 Prophecies. That, if you're not familiar with David Wilcock, that's a picture of David Wilcock in the back. And you can see it's a very thick book, and it's filled with amazing knowledge. The mantids have taught me a lot about that because, like I said in the last video, the mantids that I connected with, they are 6th density. So they don't even really exist in the physical, this third dimension or this physical dimension. They have ascended past physical existence, and they have taught me a lot about higher density concepts like sacred geometry, and the non-physical plane, and synchronicities. Synchronicities amped up a ton, after I started communicating with these beings. Synchronicities amped up a lot, and then I started to get confirmations outside of myself that the information I was receiving spiritually in meditation from these beings was in fact accurate and that I wasn't the only one having these experiences. So I know I'm not alone. I know a lot of people have connected spiritually to higher density mantid beings. And no, they are not deceptive. They've never claimed to be anything like God or gods or anything like that. But they are very highly evolved. So they are doing like advanced things like working with DNA and planting DNA, submerging DNA into the physical realm. I mean, yeah. So it's just after I had contact with them, my initial contact, they would be in my meditations a lot. And I had a few more like encounters with them. But then after that, the contact actually like dwindled down and slowed down quite a bit for me, because like all of the interaction with them before it slowed down, it was a lot. It was a lot for my consciousness to like take in. And I think they do their contact, like a lot of other ETs do this as well, but they spread the contact out and they do it in spurts over a course of like many, many years, because it's very intense and it's a lot to intake and process when this is going on. So my contact with them has slowed down a lot, but I did receive a very interesting download, and I feel like it was from the Mantids. I got this download, so I'm just going to show you this little drawing I drew out. Two nines, a 9 and a 9, and then a 13 and a 31. Yeah. Okay, and you see there's a Merkaba connecting all of the numbers, and then there's just like a pretty flower around it. But this is my attempt to try to get out the download they gave me. And this may not mean much to the viewer looking at this, but this is actually like synchronistic numbers that I put together that has a lot of meaning for me personally. So the 9s are representing my husband and my daughter's birthdays because they're both in the 9th month of the year. So that's representing their birthdays. And then the 13, my birthday is the 13th and my son's birthday is the 31st. And it was like very bizarre. I like just like had this like huge synchronicity, how that all like ties together and balances out, and how my son and I's birth dates are like opposite. He's 31 and I'm 13. And so it was just like this download I received. It seemed like that much to the people watching this, or just like the average person, but it was like a profound, deep synchronicity for me that I put together. And then, yeah. So I still have a hard time explaining these experiences I have that involve the Mantids somehow. They're hard to explain, and sometimes it's hard to find the words to explain it. So yeah. But that was like a very interesting thing, and this is very special to me, and I plan on doing more with this symbol. Well, I'll just leave it at that. What else do I have here? Yeah, so I like that, this drawing I just showed you guys. The Mantids have helped me see synchronicities more just in my everyday life, and sacred geometry and the pattern of creation and of the universe, which is like sacred geometry. They've helped me see that in like my everyday life, and kind of help incorporate it into my consciousness. So it's just a working part of my consciousness now. And they really have raised my vibration and raised my consciousness. My interactions with these beings have, and really helped me to just like understand spiritual concepts, non-physical reality on a deeper level. Okay, so that's what these beings have done for me. And since I came out, sharing my experience about the Mantids, I have met a lot of other people who have had very similar spiritual experiences with Mantis beings or Mantids involved in their spiritual experiences. So I know that now it's like I have no doubt at all that this is not real. This is very real. It's just happening in a non-physical way in the spiritual realm or the non-physical realm. But these experiences I've had with Mantis beings are very real. And I personally am 100% convinced of that at this point, because I've gotten so much confirmation outside of myself. So yeah. What else? Oh, so I also wanted to share this very interesting experience I had involving the Mantids. This was actually pretty recent. I want to share a couple, really big, just crazy experiences I've had in the last few weeks. Like I've said, I haven't really had super face-to-face interactions with the Mantids, but weird things like this have happened. So a few weeks ago, for some reason, I just decided to look up on YouTube videos on Mantids and see what other type of vlogs people had made about encounters with Mantis beings. And I came across a few actually, but this one I came across was made from this guy that lives in another part of the world, across the world from me. And he was saying he had a lot of really similar experiences as I did. He was explaining his encounters with them in a very similar way. And so I thought for a minute, okay, did this guy watch my Mantis video and then copy what I said just to make a video? I thought that he may have been biting off of my video, until I looked down at the date of when he posted his video, and it was only a few days, 3 or 4 days before I posted my Mantis video. So he posted it before I posted my Mantis video, so there's no way that he could have been influenced by watching my Mantis video. And then I just had this epiphany, oh my gosh, the Mantids were probably sending out a signal to carry their message to humanity back when I made that video. Because I was before I had made that video, I was having all these spiritual experiences with them. And, I was trying to process it on my own, and I really didn't think it was ever going to get to the point where I was going to make a video communicating part of their message or my piece of the puzzle of that. I really didn't plan on doing that. And then I just got really inspired out of the blue to do it, to share it. And I got confirmation from them that they wanted me to do that. So I'm thinking that they maybe had either planted something in the collective conscious back then, around the time I made my video, they had planted something and they were reaching out to certain individuals, or just planted something in the collective consciousness for people who meditate and tap into that to receive. Something like that was going on. And so they picked a time to come to Earth and kind of share part of their message and share certain things with humanity, with select individuals, whoever was open to receiving it. So that really blew my mind, because I realized I wasn't the only one who got contacted by Mantids at the time I did. So that really blew my mind. Another thing that really blew my mind is in my last video, I showed a symbol that is the symbol for ET contact. I'll get it up again right here. Okay, so a triangle with a sphere or a circle at each point is the symbol for ET contact. And I was like, now don't quote me on that. In the last video, I said, don't quote me on that, but that's just what I picked up from my intuition. Well, I know actually that is the universal symbol for ET contact because I got a couple confirmations outside of myself. So that was something that just came to me from the Mantids that I picked up in a meditation from my own intuition. And I thought, huh, that's interesting. But then it got confirmed for me when I made my last video about ET contact. I found that symbol, and it was like the logo for Stephen Greer's app, ET Contact app that Stephen Greer made. Now, if you're not familiar with Stephen Greer, he is a guy who is really into positive ET contact. So ET contact with like good ETs, benevolent ETs, and he's made some very interesting documentaries. He's making another one that should be released soon. So Stephen Greer is very involved in the ufology community and the ET community, okay? But he had that symbol. That was his logo for ET Contact, the ET Contact app he made. And then also I saw that symbol on a documentary I was watching about ETs Ranch. And if you know anything about ETs Ranch, I've mentioned it in several other of my videos. But ETs Ranch is also a place where the veil is thinner and you are guaranteed to have some kind of UFO sighting there. And they are very spiritual as well there. And they're all about connecting with ETs, but also very benevolent, like ascended masters and things like that. So it's a very positive place to go for ET contact. And I saw the symbol on like their church, or, well, it's not really a church, but like one of their buildings. I saw that too. So that blew my mind too. So I know some people think this is totally out of this world and out of left field, and it's really hard to understand how certain people could be contacted spiritually, how it could even be real. But for me, this has been a very real experience. It continues to get realer. And even though I don't have like super in-depth meetings or encounters with the Mantids anymore, I know that that's probably not going to last. I'll probably hear back from them eventually, but I've had a lot of really interesting insights and things like this since I was contacted by them. So in conclusion, I guess I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for your interest in my spiritual experiences I've had with these ETs. It really means a lot to me when I get people who really take this content seriously. It is real. It's very real. It's just dealing with the spiritual world or the non-physical plane that very, very much interacts with the physical plane. Okay? It's just that there is so much that they still do not understand or that is suppressed about the non-physical reality and about the physical reality. There's just a lot, and I will say that if you really want to see like, or to read and learn about more like confirmation on this and more information on this, that source, the Source Field Investigations by David Wilcock, that book is very informative. It has a wealth of information and research done by scientists, all kinds of different scientists that have really looked into the source field and the proof of its existence. And if you haven't, like a lot of people haven't heard of it because it's kind of suppressed. It's suppressed knowledge, but it's out there, and that book really gets into that. And that is a lot of what the Mantids have taught me as well, is about the non-physical plane and how much it interacts with the physical plane. And what else? I I guess that's about it. That's all I have for you guys. Let me show you this picture one more time. Whoop. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. And what else? I don't know. If you have further questions, please leave them in the comment section. Thank you so much to everyone who has supported me on this journey. And I bless your journey of self-discovery and finding your connections out there. And so much love. And may the force be with you as always. And hopefully I will see you back again very soon. Bye, guys. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content on my channel. And share this video with anyone you think it would help. Like the video and comment. I love to get feedback from my viewers. Bye.